Hello, 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 everyone, and welcome to Creating and Distributing Phenomenal Content. We're going to get started here in about 30 seconds. Allow everybody to join us on the call. We're super excited about this joint initiative between BombBomb and Chime to put together a webinar that we believe has a ton of value and a ton of content, and we are excited to deliver it to you today. While we're waiting just a few more seconds, type into the chat box. Let us know that you're here, where you're coming from. If it's snowing out here in Philadelphia today. Yeah, it's still snowing right now as we speak. So just let us know you're here, and we'll get started in just a few moments. All right. Well, I have 12:02 Eastern, so I guess we should get started here today, Matt. I'm going to kick this webinar off on video here. Let me see if we can get my video to turn on for a moment. But just for the introduction, we want you guys to pay attention to the slides. We have a ton of content in the slides, but I did want to say hi to everybody and let you know that we are here to deliver you some amazing content. And it's all about creating and distributing phenomenal content. You know, storytelling is what makes us human. No matter where you go in the world, no matter what time period you observe, no matter what community you look at, there is one thing that binds us all together as human beings, and that is our ability to tell stories to one another. We tell stories to ourselves all day long. We tell stories about why we did something, why we created the New Year's resolutions that we did. We are so good at telling stories that we even tell stories to ourselves while we are sleeping at night. 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, your brain is hardwired to tell amazing stories. And that's simply what content is. So we're going to talk about storytelling, how it's changed over the years, and how you can utilize a strength that you already have as a human being to connect with people on a more effective level. A major shift occurred here about 100 years ago or so, maybe a little bit less than that, where we shifted from telling stories to consuming more stories. And yes, people still are telling stories to one another and themselves, and they're still dreaming, at night, but we started consuming more and more stories through the advent of the newspaper, through the advent of television and radio. Now we became content consumers, but there is a shift back to storytelling. And you see it when you walk down the street, you see it when you eat dinner at a restaurant, and you look around and you see people's heads looking down on their phones, because people are not only consuming stories, but they're consuming stories created by other regular people. These people walking down the street looking at their phones, they aren't consuming content most likely from ABC and NBC and major news sources. They're consuming content from people just like you and me. So there's an opportunity that's here and now today, that's on the horizon for you to tell your story about real estate, about you, about who you are, using the tools you would like to use, whether you are a more effective storyteller through your writing, through human interaction, through video, through photography. There are so many ways for you to create compelling content telling your stories, because the best storytellers on the planet are salespeople. You and the best salespeople are the best storytellers. And today we're going to talk about the best storytellers in real estate. So my name is Steve Pacinelli. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer over here at BombBomb. And I'm joined today by Matt Murphy. Matt, why don't you give yourself an introduction?
Excellent. Thanks, Steve. We're super excited to be doing this webinar with BombBomb. My name is Matt Murphy. I'm the Chief Marketing Officer of Chime. Chime is an operating system built for real estate agents to really help you run your business with greater efficiency, tying all the different components and products together into one seamless mobile interface. So super excited to walk you through some great examples, some tips, how-to guides, step-by-step on how to create great, compelling content that's going to help you bring your business to the next level this year.
Awesome. So I'm going to click off the video here. Bye, everybody. We're going to focus on the slides that we put together because we have a lot of great examples on what exactly you need to do and what the best out there are doing to create compelling content and to tell their story. So, Matt, why don't you kick us off here with the what? When we talk about creating compelling content, what type of content are we referring to?
Definitely. So content comes in many different shapes and forms, right? We are all consumers of content, as Steve mentioned, but we also should and have been and will be creators of content, right? So creators of content can be in written words, it can be in spoken words, it can be via images, i.e. photos or memes, videos or graphics. Creating something that is unique across these mediums is what we're talking about today.
Yeah, and where can they place this content? And we already discussed this a bit in the introduction there, but why don't you hone in a little bit deeper?
That's right. So, when you're thinking about where to place content, think about yourself as a consumer, right? We are consuming content each day. I have some interesting stats that I wanted to share. Today, in 2018, Instagram users are uploading over 46 million posts each minute. Consumers are commenting over 510,000 times every minute on Facebook. And the stats on YouTube and Twitter are far more larger than that. So social media is where people are spending their time. It's funny, you walk down the street, people have their eyes tuned to their phone. But interesting content can also be created on your website or your blog or emails that you send to people, right? I mean, email is still a primary form of communication. The challenge with email is people get too many of them. So creating unique, compelling content in your emails to get them to open it, to get them to read it, to get them to react is also very critical.
Yeah, and Matt, and you actually mentioned this, the amount of content being created. Someone watching this webinar might think, well, if all this content is being created, how am I going to stand out? How is my content going to be seen? And we're going to dive into that today throughout this webinar. So why would someone want to spend all of this time creating content, especially if this is, and correct me if I'm wrong, Matt, but this is a long-term play. Creating content is going to net anybody instant business, but as a long-term play, it can net you a massive amount of business.
That's exactly right. So creating content is something you need to do each day consistently over time, and you will see a benefit, right? You'll see a benefit from an SEO perspective of more traffic coming to your site. You'll see a benefit of better engagement with your leads. You will see leads coming through directly from that content. And we are in the content consumption and creation age, right? People don't like clicking on ads anymore. They like engaging with unique content that speaks to them, that's compelling, that's humorous, that's insightful. So you will save money on your marketing dollars being spent by creating unique and interesting content opposed to just spamming people with ads. And that's what we're going to dive into today.
Awesome. So we have four main themes for this webinar. We're not just going to go over high-level content. We're going to give you specific examples and step-by-step instructions on how to create local appeal. This is one of the best ways for you to create content and have unique content that the larger entities out there in the portals aren't creating. We'll talk about that in a moment. We're going to talk about creating customer-first content. How do you know what to talk about and where to talk about it? Well, that's the second topic here in today's webinar. The third topic is making sure you have a point of view and not creating the same things or not saying the same things that other people are saying, and making sure that you are providing your unique perspective. And we're going to give you some instruction around that. And then finally, we're going to button up this webinar with a simple 3-part formula for getting started. Anything I missed there, Matt, or should we keep on going?
Let's keep on going.
All right, so let's first start off with local appeal. And really the slide shouldn't say Zillow, Realtor.com, Trulia, and Homes versus you, because they are there to help you. And a lot of people utilize their services and they buy leads from those services. But that's a top of the funnel lead most of the time. When people are thinking about buying or selling a home, they go online and they're probably going to one of these websites and they're doing their due diligence and typing in search phrases and finding properties. But there's one thing that these companies cannot do, and they can't create amazing localized content. You are the knowledge broker. You're bringing the information about your local area. Yes, they can display homes about that area, but they don't have insight, and it's very difficult for these companies to provide that insight. So there's your unique opportunity to stand out from the rest. You get a lead that comes in and they were searching for homes on realtor.com. They're searching for properties there, but they don't have that in-depth knowledge of the community. And if you can show them that you have content, whether it be email, blog content, video content about that community, now you're getting back to showcasing your value and your expertise. And so Matt here is going to talk about Kenny Trung, and Kenny is an amazing content creator. He's been creating content for a long time. And what's unique about Kenny, Matt, and just looking through the slides that you provided here and what you've said about him so far, is the style of his content. Why don't you talk about what he does that makes him stand out?
That's right. So, over the last few years, Kenny has leveraged content to be the top producing agent in Oakland. He lives in Oakland. He's doubled down on Oakland. He's made it his local farm. And how he's done that is he's created a brand called Fast Agent. He drives a fast car. And he literally infuses that. You can see his car on the right-hand side of the screen. He infuses that everywhere. So as people are at the grocery store, as they're walking down the street looking at the bus stop, as they're seeing his signs, as they're interacting with him online on social media, on his email mailing list, he is pulling in unique content with a local flair while tapping into pop culture. And what I love about this is as we go through these slides, if you can click to the next, he's pulling in top movies that are in the movie theaters right now that are on the top of the charts. He's pulling Fast Agent in. He's a creator and customizer of these relevant themes that people are experiencing in their everyday life. He pulls that into his brand and makes his brand in tune with what people are thinking about. Therefore, when they think real estate, they think, oh yeah, that guy Fast Agent. I remember, that funny spin that he did on Star Wars. Of course I'm going to give him a call. So let's go on to the next slide. And it's funny. So some of the folks in Oakland, if anyone spent time in Oakland, you know that there's some folks that don't like the gentrification of Oakland, don't like all the people moving into Oakland, and they've been defacing some of Kenny's bus stops, shelters and seats and local kind of flair that he's brought in. So he did something that I think hands down is brilliant. When the Warriors won the national championship in basketball and NBA, there were over 1 million people in downtown Oakland, and he knew that there were so many crowds, so many people. And so what he did is he took to the skies, and he literally rented a plane that bannered his logo across the sky, his information across the sky, so that when people were looking up, he just got 1 million impressions right in downtown Oakland, tapped into something local and iconic that was happening with a local team winning the NBA championships. And this is hands down brilliant. Everyone there saw it. Everyone there remembered it. He created his brand for not that much money, right? For under $1,000.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. Kenny is a master at branding himself. But what if you're watching this webinar and you're like, okay, that's like level 10 stuff. I'm at level 1 or 2 in creating local content, or maybe I haven't started yet. What are some of the things that I can do to begin? And one way to create great local content is through video. And we're going to go through video content and photo content here, and then give you a couple of steps to follow. But this is Paul Balzotti. Paul Balzotti does an amazing job in creating local community and market videos for his area. And when he gets those internet leads that are looking for more information about a particular home, he can respond with, hey, would you like to learn more about the neighborhood? And like we discussed before, providing that unique content that's different from what someone's going to get on a major portal can position you for success, because it shows that you have a different knowledge base than what they are finding online, and it showcases your value. So we're going to play this this video. I know the videos don't come through that great on a GoToWebinar format, so it's going to be choppy, but you should be able to hear the music and get a good feel for what the video is like, even though it's not going to play that well. Because I have two videos here for you from Paul Balzotti, a video that he just released recently here, and then a video, one of his first videos that he created about his local community, just so we could see the difference.
Hi, my name is Paul Balzotti. I'm a realtor here with John L. Scott Real Estate in Bellingham, Washington, and I want to talk a little bit about Bellingham. Bellingham, a lot of people think of as a college town because we have Western Washington University here, but it's definitely much more than that. People that live here love Bellingham. The culture is of people that love to be active.
So that's a very nice video from Paul. And if you notice, he started off with an opinion, which we're going to talk about a bit later in this webinar, but fantastic looking video. You could see it had some polish to it, but you don't have to be a video expert to create compelling local content to email out, to place onto your blog, and to share with your customers and your contacts. Let's go back here for a moment and let's look at Paul's video from May 11th of 2010 about the same area, and let's check out the difference.
Hi, my name is Paul Balzotti, and I'm with John L. Scott Real Estate. I'm here in Boulevard Park, which is my favorite park in Bellingham, and I'm going to talk to you about a few fun facts about Bellingham, Washington. Bellingham has been mentioned in many magazines over the last few years, from the best place to retire, best place to live. A few of my favorite publications that it's been mentioned in more recently is Forbes magazine named Bellingham.
So as you can see, it's quite a difference from the videos that he's doing now. That comes from practice. But if you are the only one creating local content like that in your area, or one of the few people creating local content, you still have a massive step above anyone else. You don't need to have the high-end equipment to create that video content. And actually, I'm going to share with you in the next section of this class a really easy way, even if you just have an iPhone or an Android, to start with your content plan. But Paul says his community videos give him the best return on his investment. And why is that? Because a community video is an evergreen marketing piece. If you're going to pay someone to come out and do a home tour, that's fantastic. And statistics shows that home tours or homes listings that have a home tour are more likely to sell in less time and for a higher dollar amount. I remember that back from my days at Realtor.com. And that's great. But if you really want to invest your money wisely, investing your money and getting some help in creating a community video is a much better return. Why? Because you can use that community video that you created for years and years and years to come. It's not like a listing. When that listing sells, now the value for that video is greatly diminished, and you're stuck just using it to say, hey, here's how I market my properties on a listing presentation. But a video like what I just showed you from Paul Balzotti has legs for years and years, and you don't have to replace that immediately, and you're standing out from the crowd. But if you're not great at video yet, and we're going to talk about that yet and grit and consistency here in a moment, you can do other things as well. Kendall Young has a great content page. She has a brokerage called Diggs. It's an awesome website. Go check out her website and you'll see that she has a lot of great photo content. She does use videos, not on every single page, but she has a lot of great videos on there too. And she breaks her communities down into different groups with awesome photos that she takes on her iPhone, that she takes with her portable camera, and she uploads it to her website. And so it's just a fantastic place for people to gather that local info. So now let's give them some of the steps that they need to take here, Matt, and how they can create something similar on their website or blog, or simply just have that content ready to go at a moment's notice to reach out to a new lead that's interested in that area. What type of assets are they going to need, Matt?
Definitely. So you know your market better than anyone else, right? As Steve mentioned, you know your market better than Zillow does, better than Trulia does. You are a local maven of your community. So you have the best knowledge of the areas, right, within your market, the subdivisions, the neighborhoods. You are the expert in what is happening on a consistent basis, what events are going on, what makes your market unique, right? What are the themes? What are the trends? What are the things that are done every single year that people love doing and attending within your market, right? Document those via photos, via videos. Really, your job is to help sell your market so that people want to move into your market, experience that lifestyle, and become a part of it. So doing a quick write-up on an elevator pitch or a couple paragraphs, or pulling together via words, via video, via imagery, what makes your local market unique.
Yeah, and this is literally step by step where you can start. List out the areas, write them up, grab some photos. They can be photos from your iPhone to start. Again, you were doing something that 95% or greater of the real estate community is not doing. And this is a long-term play. We're going to talk about that consistency. Everything that you do here can also be repurposed. Every social media channel has a different audience. And so if you create a video for YouTube, that video can also be used in your BombBomb video emails, in your Instagram, in different social channels, on Facebook. And you get so much more mileage because of the tools and systems we have at our disposal here today. Anything I missed there, Matt?
Yeah, and don't be afraid to, as you're getting started, don't be afraid to repurpose other great content that you found, but put your flair on top of it, put your opinion on top of it, and your commentary so that you make it your own.
Yep. And so some easy wins that you guys can use to get started with creating some local content here. And one easy way is to create a top 5 or top 10 list. This is awesome if you want to create the top 5, your favorite top 5 restaurants in a particular city or in an area, the top 10 parks in your area. And it's just an easy way to put some content together, grab some photos, and add it to your blog. You'll see a lot of top 5 or 10 lists everywhere. People, as they read through a list, if they read through the first 3, we're hardwired to want to see the last 7, or if they read through the first 5, to look at the last 5. So make a top 5 or top 10 list. Engage people in social media. Chances are there are a lot of Facebook groups that you can search for. You can go into Facebook right now and type in your city name and see some of the most active groups on social media, and not just Facebook, and join those groups. If they're a community group that's already created, that's already lively and vibrant, and you create an awesome video or create a great page about why the community is amazing, or some of the best places to go to, to relax or have fun or to eat dinner, that's great information that community is going to want to hear, and that's a great way to get more exposure on your content as well. And one of my favorite methods here, I don't know if you want to take this one, Matt, but highlight or interview local businesses. Why is that so effective?
That's so effective because you're bringing that local flair. You're interviewing local entrepreneurs. You're getting their take. You're creating unique video. One of the things that's most important here is that we call them listicles, right? But it's the idea of creating lists about things. Usually people, when they search for Google, they'll say, what are the best restaurants to go to with kids? Or what are the best places to go to on a first date, right? That Google is putting high up in the ranking lists that people have created that answer those specific questions. Google is also putting an emphasis on videos and on audio and podcasts. Therefore, if you're doing a local interview of a business, that's going to rank high. That's going to drive more traffic to your website. But then you can also, as Steve mentioned, distribute that out via social media channels, via groups, and people react to that type of content.
Yeah, and the local businesses, if you're new and you're looking for places to start as well, Judy Weiniger does an amazing job interviewing local businesses. Do a quick Google search for her. She's from New Jersey, Judy Weiniger, Weinger, I think. But check her out. She interviews local businesses all the time. And the reason why that helps someone that's new to creating content is it helps with exposure. Because if you go into the local pizza shop and you interview them because you love their pizza the most, and you put together a quick 3-minute video or 4-minute video, they are going to share that. They're going to be so excited, number one, that someone wants to highlight their business, but they're going to share that content on their Facebook page and get you more exposure. So it's one entity helping the other party as well. And so that's our button up for local appeal. There is so much more that you can do to be the local market expert and to immerse yourself in your community and show people that you truly understand what is happening, and they should come to you for research and advice because you have an opinion, you've been there for a while, and you're the best person to ask. So also in positioning you, now we're into the second section here of putting the customer first. This is another strategy that that you can implement. Jessica Edwards here has been putting her customer first since 2009 with videos. She's been receiving the same questions over and over and over again in email on a continuous basis or over the phone. And what she started doing was just answering those questions rather than just answering them over the phone or in person or over email. She started answering all of those questions on YouTube. And so she would just jot down a great question that she got from a client. She would keep track of it on, a simple notebook or piece of paper. She would carry that with her. And whenever a client was late to a meeting or she was early, to an appointment and she had 10 minutes or more, she would just answer the same exact question that she did several hours ago on the phone, just to her iPhone or Android device. I'm not sure what device she's using, but she would just set up her iPhone or Android right there on her dashboard and answer the same exact question. For those of you thinking, how in the world am I going to have all the time to create all this content? This doesn't seem like I'm going to be able to do this. I'm busy enough as it is. Jessica Riffle Edwards found the time by making better use of the 5 to 10 minutes a day that she would be sitting there just surfing Facebook or wasting time. These videos are usually short, as you can see, 2-3 minutes long, and she already knows what to say. This was also when she started doing this in her car, and she's not driving in her car. She is sitting somewhere, in most of them, I'll point out. But she's sitting in her car answering these videos. She also noticed that the videos look better because the lighting's great in your car. So if you're self-conscious about that, and the audio is amazing, and she didn't have to buy another microphone or anything else to create compelling video content. You guys are answering real estate questions all day long, every day. Utilize that. Tell your story, put it in a short video, throw it on YouTube, and now you have this wealth of information that people can find, like Matt was saying before. Here's a quick little video from Kelly LeClaire on how she goes about selecting content to share in a video format on YouTube and on our website.
The number one thing that guides me when I'm creating my videos is how can I help or educate my past, current, and future clients. I pick topics that either I've just gone through and have an interesting story, or, in this business, we learn something on every deal. So I come into contact with something that would be useful to other people. That's what I talk about.
It's simple. It's the same mindset that Jessica has. Anything you want to add in there, Matt?
I think, what they've done that's very interesting is they're creating content in the moment.
Yep.
Sorry, I'm getting a little echo. They're creating things in the moment. They're using their spare time to create that content, which is nothing to be afraid of, right? No one's going to judge you. You know your market. You know what's going on. You have insight. You have information. They trust you. That's why they work with you and partner with you to find your dream home. So don't be afraid. Just do it.
That's right. And if you don't love video, and we know how important video is. If you follow any coach out there, period, it doesn't matter which one you follow, they all talk about the value and the benefit of video and getting people to know you, like you, and trust you before they meet you. Video is important, but you can answer them in your preferred medium. If you are an amazing writer, then write out your responses and put it on your blog. Can you do that in 2 minutes in your spare time while waiting for your appointment? Depends on how great of a writer you are. But we do recommend the video format for these quick one-offs, and don't worry about making mistakes. There's a shiny authenticity inversion. If you're answering real questions from real clients and you say or ah a few times, it's okay. Your videos do not have to be perfect. Having them is infinitely better than not having them. And so those are some easy wins for you in addressing your customers and putting your customer first in your content creation path. So Matt, why don't you talk to us about, and I know you have opinions about opinions, so why don't you talk to us about a point of view and why it's so important for realtors to inject their own point of view into the content that they're creating?
So people like consuming content that's interesting. And the most interesting content is when someone has an opinion that they're sharing with facts or beliefs or energy or passion or reasons why they have that opinion and belief. So infuse your personality into your content. We all have strong personalities if we're in real estate, right? That's what makes us shine. We're great at selling. The passion for what we do each day comes through. So don't let that hide in the content you're creating. Let that shine through via images, via video, via text, via every way that you're creating this unique content and distributing it out, because that's why people love you is your personality and your opinions. So let that come through, and that is what will get people almost like a magnet to be attracted to you on social media, to follow you, to engage with you, to be excited when new content comes through because they like your opinions, they like your personality.
Yeah, and I see Chime CRM also likes double doubles with fries and animal style.
Very true.
Yeah, so I mean, we don't need to labor this topic, anymore. It's simple. People don't follow people that don't have opinions, and that's what it comes down to. Build from the facts, but have an opinion. If you're going to talk about local places to have fun or to take your family or restaurants, have an opinion about those restaurants. Tell people what you think. That's why they're going to follow you. Don't do what everyone else is doing out there. It's okay to alienate a few to find the right people for your business and people that connect with you, which we'll actually elaborate on that in just a few moments as well. So we made it through 3 topics so far, Matt. Have an opinion, create local appeal, and putting the customer first. How do they execute on all of these things? Well, we're going to give them 3 keys here to executing on creating content. We're going to give you some to-dos. We're going to give you some homework. And hopefully we give you some motivation to actually start doing this or continue to do this, or maybe we helped you spark an idea that's going to help you generate even better content than what you're already creating. But the 3 keys to generating great content come down to purpose, having a purpose for your content. Why are you doing it? Who are you doing it for? When are you going to do it? Which actually comes in the 3rd item here, which is consistency. Purpose, grit, and consistency. Those are the 3 keys of creating excellent content. So the first thing I want you to do, if you are just walking down the content path and you're just getting started, before you start creating content, understand your why. Know why you're putting your content together. Create your purpose or your mission statement. And if you want to see a great example of what a purpose or a mission statement looks like, you don't have to go any further than, I think it's a mutual friend here, Matt, but Michael Thorne, Remax agent from Fort Langley in British Columbia. He does a phenomenal job on his Facebook page. That's his preferred medium with video to share content and to build him up as a local market expert and just help the community as well. But he has a fantastic mission statement in there that tells people why he's doing what he's doing, what sparked the idea for him to create this, and really how he's going to execute the type of content that people are going to see on his website. Anything you want to add, Matt?
No, I think answering that why in the clearest and most concise format is very important, because when you ever get confused or you wonder why am I doing this, you can go back to that reason, that purpose, and get re-energized to keep moving forward.
Yeah, absolutely. That's your guiding light, right? It's your shining star in the sky, and that's what you're going to use to dictate the type of content that you're going to create. Because you might have a list of different ideas. What content are you creating first? Well, the content that fits in with your purpose. You guys can go check out Michael Thorne's Facebook page and see the style of the content that he is creating. If you go to My North Langley, you can see the spelling in the upper left-hand side of the screen there, My North Langley, and go check it out. He creates his own great content, but what I like even better is other people are posting content to his page because he made his purpose clear. And so not only does he have an opinion about things that are happening in the community, you can see some of the posts here that he is putting up, and not only does he have a large community that he created, but other people are posting to his page because they feel like it's a safe place for them to post things that they care about in their community as well. And they're getting great interaction with all the content that goes up on My North Langley because Michael Thorne facilitates it and he makes it safe for other people to do so. Now you might be thinking, well Steve, this sounds great, but I'm not a great writer, not a photographer, not a video person. Well, I have great news for everyone because all of these things are made easier. I am a horrible writer. When I went to Penn State, when I graduated high school, I went to Penn State University. I just barely got in, I'm not going to lie. And I had to take a remedial writing course. The course didn't even count for credits. I had to take this course to take the 101 course that actually counted for credits. I am a terrible writer, awful writer. But you know what? I use grit and determination to get past that. To be honest, I'm still an awful writer. But I put my head down and I created a website with my buddy, with one of my buddies in the past called Tech Savvy Agent. And we put a website together and we wrote on that website every single day. Grit and determination helped get us through, and I became a better writer by doing that. You have two mindsets. You have a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. And if you think you can, and if you embrace the challenge and your goal is just to get better every time rather than be perfect, then you can be in that growth mindset territory. One of my favorite quotes of all time is, everyone has a plan until they get punched in the face, and that's a Mike Tyson quote right there. And I don't know if you like Mike Tyson or not, but the quote is spot on. That's true. Everyone's got that plan until they get punched in the face, until the writing gets hard, until the creation of video gets hard, or you don't have the time to take the pictures. But as mentioned, and I'm going to go over the plan here in a moment, but as mentioned, there are some great tools out there to help you with this. Apps out there are abundant. If you need help with writing, one of the things that I do, I use a free plugin, and there's an upgraded paid version called Grammarly. Grammarly actually checks my writing no matter where I write it, on the web, on Facebook, if I'm creating documents, and it helps me with my grammar. I still don't know where to put commas in sentences usually. It tells me where to do that. And it helps me become a better writer by recommending other phrases or other words to use. And no matter how slow you are, you'll eventually learn. And you'll become a better writer by utilizing Grammarly. So it's a great tool. Go check that one out. There's billions of photo and video apps. You can take some pretty poor photos these days and take some pretty poor videos, and there's some amazing applications out there that will piece your photos and videos together and make it look pretty good. So even though you might not be a writer, a photographer, or video person now, it's simply yet, because you can do it. Anything I missed there, Matt?
No, I think, and always referring back to your mission, right? Your why, your reason for why you're doing it. That's your commitment to your audience. And so when it gets tough, when you get tired, when you don't feel like you have new, fresh ideas, just refer back to that. That is your mission and passion statement.
And it comes down to this. You need to, I don't know if you've seen this before, the webinar attendees have seen this before, but it's the Eisenhower Decision Matrix. And it comes down to what's important but isn't urgent, you need to schedule and time block. And if you truly want to get started with a content plan and you want to reap the benefits of content like Paul Balzotti and reap the benefits of content like Jessica Riffle Edwards, then you need to schedule time block or identify the triggers throughout your day when you can create this content. When you go to the park with your family, take the extra 3 minutes out of the day to take some nice photos that you could use in the future. When you're waiting in the car for that appointment, utilize that as a trigger to record your videos, and schedule and time block well ahead of time. Schedule well into February and March, and when you're going to sit down and create that content, and hold tight to that schedule. That's how you develop consistency, and that's how you're going to win. Pick a day, stick to it, or pick a morning and an afternoon and stick to it, and use that as your content creation time, because it's a flywheel in either direction. If you create a few random pieces here and there, your content strategy will never take off. Once you start creating multiple pieces and you're doing it on a regular basis, that's when you're going to really start to reap the rewards for generating compelling and phenomenal content. So again, the 4 themes for this seminar was local appeal, point of view, put the customer first, and our 3-part formula at the end, having that grit, that consistency, and that purpose or that mission statement. And you are going to be set up for success, because noise isn't the problem. There's more and more people creating content these days. You are still an early adopter if you start doing it now, but more and more people will. And the only thing you need to be is you, because sameness is the problem, not the amount of content that is out there. Your goal isn't to be the best. Your goal is just to simply be the only. You're the only you out there. You can create content that no one else can, because it's from your opinion and your mindset and your point of view. Matt, you want to close this out?
Definitely. So we really appreciate everyone attending. We maxed out this webinar, which is awesome. As a thank you, everyone will be receiving a free ebook sent via email summarizing all of these topics on how to create, how to distribute amazing content that's going to help you grow your business this year. So we really appreciate it. Keep an eye out for that email coming through. And then Steve, I think you had one final thought.
Yeah. And if anybody wants to use email, text, and social, BombBomb's a great way to get comfortable with video. We talked a lot about video here today. And at BombBomb, we specialize in short form video messaging, helping people communicate on a more effective level and rehumanizing your communication. And we have the easiest platform to create great video content to be emailed, texted out to a brand new lead, or even posted to your social media accounts through a variety of different tools. You guys can check out BombBomb 100% for free. If you go to bombbomb.com, we have a 14-day no credit card free trial. So you don't have to punch a credit card in and worry about it being billed if you don't get a chance to check it out. Just sign up for the free trial. You're going to get some more great training and education on how to use video in your free trial process. The training education is worth it just right there. But you'll get to see one of the best programs on the market to help utilize your best sales asset, which is you. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. I couldn't see if there was any questions or chat. I don't think I had the access there, but I don't know if there's any questions or any chat that we need to address here, Matt, but I have a few more minutes to stick around and do so if we need to.
You got it. I'm just looking through right here. We can also send a recording of the webinar out if people weren't able to take screenshots or couldn't hear at certain times. We will also send a recording of the webinar out in that email. And I think that answers a good amount of the questions that came through.
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, everyone.
All right. Thank you, guys. Hope you enjoyed it.